Hey, everybody, I'm back. It's night 3. We're on pillar 4. Our first 3 pillars were nutrition, exercise, and sleep. So sleep and stress management kind of fall in the same category. I think they tend to be kind of the overlooked pieces to when you go on a weight loss or a fat loss journey. Those two seem to be kind of overlooked. Everyone focuses really on the nutrition, on the exercise, things like that. But it's super important to understand how stress and sleep can impact your fat loss efforts, and especially even when it comes to keeping it off. So yesterday I went in and explained all about the sleep part of it and how lack of quality sleep can impact your fat loss efforts. And if you missed any of these videos so far, so this is video number 5, because I did the intro, 1, 2, 3, 4, pillar 4. So if you look at the top, it'll say topics and it'll have hashtags, and there will be hashtag fat loss. And under that hashtag, you'll see all these videos are going to be stored up in there. So if there's any you need to go back and review or you haven't seen yet, that's where you can find those. Like I said, we talked about nutrition, exercise, sleep, and tonight is stress management. So first I'll go into how stress can impact your fat loss efforts, and then some things you can do to manage stress. And but first, before I get into that even more, please say hi to me in the comments. That helps me a lot to know who's watching, if it's helping anybody. Obviously, like your energy, I'm going to feed off of your energy, and it just makes it more encouraging for me to continue to do these videos when I know people are getting something out of it. So hopefully it's worth your time to sit and watch it, and it's definitely worth my time to share the information, because it is information, and I think sometimes, like I said, certain things are overlooked, or there's so many confusing, loud, incorrect messages out there about how to lose fat and how to keep it sustainable. So there's, crazy things out there. So my hope is to kind of organize it all in this video series for you guys, to where it simplifies it for you, and kind of you can shut out the noise of everything else out there, that tells you to do all these crazy things to lose fat that you don't have to do. So, okay, so stress, how can it affect your weight? So there's several ways it can. First is in hormonal changes. So stress can cause hormonal changes in your body, and then particularly it releases cortisol. And cortisol is a hormone that is released by your adrenal gland in response to stress. And it can increase your appetite, particularly for sugary and fatty foods. So this is very interesting, because I think we tend to call those comfort foods. And I think sometimes people beat themselves up if they don't have willpower, to not have sugar, to not have, the fatty foods, or not crave those or whatever. But stress can actually cause, it's actual hormonal response to stress to crave those. So that's, definitely an area where you want to control that and get into some stress management. So that increase in appetite, obviously, and the increase in food intake is going to impede your fat loss efforts. There's also the emotional eating. So stress can trigger, and it's tied into also the hormonal that I just talked about before, but it can trigger that emotional eating, which is in response to any emotions you're having. And it's really not hunger. It's just more like you're just stressed and you need something crunchy to eat, or something, comforting, and like a big greasy pizza or something like that. So people tend to turn to food to cope with their stress, and that can obviously lead to fat gain or keep you from losing fat. And then reduce physical activity. So a lot of times when we get stressed, we kind of stop. We feel tired, we feel sluggish, we feel overwhelmed. It feels like too much to get your exercise in and then engage in any kind of physical activity. So that obviously less movement is going to slow down your fat loss efforts. And as I'm sure you guys all know, when you are stressed, and I'll go into ways of managing it, but exercise is probably like the number one thing you can do to manage your stress. So any kind of like depression, stress, anxiety, exercise is wonderful at helping that. Okay, so then stress, it can also lead to poor quality sleep, which we talked about sleep yesterday, and we talked about how that can impede your fat loss efforts as well. It can disrupt your hormones and your regulating your hunger, all those things. And again, that we talked about in the video yesterday. So if you missed that, definitely you want to catch that on how lack of sleep or lack of quality sleep can impact your fat loss efforts. So, and how incredibly it is important to make sure you're getting good, sufficient sleep. So, as you can see, managing stress can be very important when it comes to your fat loss efforts. I'm going to give you guys some stress management techniques. So some things that you can do, and you may already have some. And if you have any that I don't list on here, then please share them, because the more we share, the better, because, not everything's going to work for everybody, So what you do isn't on here, maybe if you suggest it might work for somebody else. So there's a lot of different techniques that you can use to reduce your stress levels. Like I said before, one is exercise, and just making sure you're getting in regular physical activity, being super consistent. And just like I said yesterday, when we talked about exercise, like even a simple 10-minute walk can do wonders for you. So just getting outside, breathing the fresh air, just a quick walk around the block can totally do that to you. It'll help increase your mood. It'll increase your endorphins, those are your natural mood boosters. And that's where I'm saying exercise, movement is super, super important, even though it's like it kind of works against itself because you don't feel like getting out and exercising sometimes when you're stressed. I know if you have worked out consistently, then you miss it and you're like, I'm so stressed out, I need to go exercise. And you kind of get into that place. So that's a good thing. That's kind of like a positive reinforcement. So, but sometimes we get so overwhelmed that we just freeze up and we don't end up that's one of the things that ends up getting pushed aside. But that's definitely something to keep, in your list of stress management things is making sure you move, walk, lift some weights, go do some sprints, whatever. So another one, if you can't get out for a quick walk or, you just aren't able to exercise in the moment, deep breathing also does wonders. And there's a lot of breathing techniques. I actually have a book, a guide on some breathing techniques. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll send you the link for that. But there's a lot of great breathing techniques. So there's one where if you breathe in, it's like a box breathing. So you count to 4 and then you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4, release it for 4 seconds, and then just repeat that. And you'll start to feel and just really start paying attention to your breathing. That will really do wonders for you. And honestly, I don't even know if the amount of seconds matters. As long as you're not trying to hold your breath for 60 seconds, because that might add to your stress. But I don't really think that if it's 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 7 seconds, or whatever. So just taking that time to just breathe in through your nose, hold it for a little bit, and then slowly exhale. That will make a world of difference for you. Slowly exhale out of your mouth. That'll make a world of difference. Also, there's meditation or prayer, and just quieting your mind and, just taking a couple minutes to just kind of go blank in your mind, which I know is so hard to do if you don't practice that. But also praying, and just if you're a person of prayer, then, praying to God and talking to him. And I know for me, that makes a huge difference, huge difference when I just stop for a second and I just kind of visualize myself, whatever I'm stressed out about, just giving it, like physically visualize myself giving it to God. And then all of a sudden I can just feel like my spirit feels lighter and I feel like, now I can do this. So, and even if let's say you're doing the meditation route, you want to get really focused in on your breathing, stuff like that. Yoga can help. That's part of exercise, but just that stretching and that calming feeling that yoga can bring. just doing the different postures, the different breathing exercises, things like that can really help relax you, reduce tension. And it has its physical benefits as well. So if you're somebody that's having a hard time with your stress, and you could look on YouTube, and there's all kinds of yoga stuff on YouTube, whatever. So that's another, and it ties into exercise. I think it does. So another important one is time management. So if you are not managing your time and you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants through the day, and your day's controlling you and you're not controlling your day, that is really going to kick up the stress. So make sure I would encourage you to keep a calendar of what you have going on during the day. Make sure you're penciling in you in that day, like your exercise or whatever, your wind down time before bed. But just make sure that you're taking control of your day and managing your time, and really aware of your time management, especially, during the work week, things like that. And then listening to calming music can help. Sometimes for me, putting on dance music and just getting silly and dancing with the dogs actually helps. So it just kind of lightens me a little bit. But listening to calming music, taking a warm bath, massages do wonders. All those things can help just relax you and reduce your stress. And then also making sure socially that you are spending time with loved ones. So whether it's family, whether it's friends, making sure you get some girl time in. That is so super important, having that social interaction and having that social time. I know for me, it really fills my cup back up. I feel very energized after spending time with people that I enjoy and that I love. So just having that support definitely helps you feel less isolated, and not so alone in your stress. And they can provide any kind of emotional support you may need. So just remember, everyone's different, and one of these will work for some of you, may not work for others. But those are just some suggestions. And like I said, if you have any ideas of things that you do, if you would share them in the comments, that would be awesome. Share the love. And again, make sure you say hi. And that is it for stress management. So super important to manage your stress, again, for health reasons, for your fat loss goals, for your transformation goals, all those things. You want to really make sure that you're, taking control of that part, and, setting yourself up for success in every single way. And stress management is definitely a huge one. And that's why it hit number 4 in my top 5 pillars. And then tomorrow, I'm going to talk about, what's tomorrow's? Mindset. Mindset could be a long one. So I'm going to try to keep that video short, and then, maybe there's topics I can pull from it and do some more videos on mindset. So, because mindset is where this all begins. This is when you make that decision that you're going to create some change for yourself, and you take that step forward, and then understanding where your thinking is, how you're perceiving things, and the stories you're telling yourself about, what you believe about your ability to make this change, all kinds of stuff. I could get into it right now, and I won't. So tomorrow I'm going to try to keep it a shorter one tomorrow, talk about mindset, and then expand on it more over the next couple months or so. Just talk about different topics, because it really is that important. In fact, mindset, the importance of mindset is one of the main reasons I went and I got my transformation life coaching certification, was because I saw, just in my own journey, in my clients' journeys, how everything came back to where their mind was. So, we can know all the right things to eat. We can know all the right exercises to do. We can be getting all the right sleep, all those things. But if our mind is not there, if it's not in the right place, or if we don't know how to overcome obstacles that are going to come up, because anytime you start a journey, resistance pops up. Anytime you go to create change, resistance pops up. And if we're not, prepared when that resistance pops up and don't have the tools on how to overcome it, then we're just going to keep in that same cycle that we've been in. So the goal is to just break through that. And when you start breaking through that resistance, we're talking about sustainable fat loss, then it becomes more of who you are and what you do. And those are the healthy habits that you will start living with. And that it just will be who you are now once you get through that resistance part. But I will talk about that more tomorrow. Don't forget, I'm not going to let you forget, on Tuesday, I am launching the 16-week program, and I've got everything put together. I am so excited. The more I sit down and refine it and work through things and get it all ready, I'm just like so pumped to get this out there because I know it can help so many of you, and it's at a reasonable price. But it's the value in it is going to be huge. I'm giving you every possible tool for your workouts, for your nutrition, for your mindset, and for your healthy habits and how to create those. Everything will be in this transformation program. So I'm super excited for it. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. And that launches on next Tuesday morning. My first 15 to sign up that morning. I do think it's going to go pretty quick, these 15 spots. My first 15 get a super awesome bonus with it. And then you also, if you're signing up next week, you're going to get a special discount. So lots of goodies coming up. I'm excited, and hopefully you are too. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. You guys are awesome, and I hope you're having an awesome day.